Holding space is about showing up authentically and creating safety in the moments that matter most. From parenting littles to navigating friendships and partnerships, I reframe tantrums, conflicts, and messy feelings as invitations to connection. I'm Julia Clark, a psychotherapist and play therapist with over 30 years of experience walking alongside children, families, and the people who care for them. Each episode explores the building blocks of emotional literacy, co-regulation, and boundaries, while honoring the intergenerational stories we carry within. Blending science with lived wisdom, I believe growth is playful, healing is possible, and we are all learning together. Hi, I'm Julia, and together we're holding space. In our last episode, we walked through the playroom, those intentional zones where children explore nurturing, power, creativity, and safety. Today, we're stepping into one of those zones more deeply, into a space that might look simple, but holds extraordinary depth and healing power. Sand tray therapy. At first glance, it's just a tray of sand and shelves of miniatures, tiny figures, objects, animals, and symbols. But in practice, it becomes a window into the inner world, especially for those who struggle to put feelings into words. Who sand tray can support? Sand tray therapy isn't just for children. Sand tray therapy isn't just for children. It's deeply supportive for teens navigating identity, anxiety, and overwhelm, for parents carrying invisible loads, decision fatigue, or grief, for couples working through relational patterns they can't fully articulate, for families navigating complex dynamics or big changes, adults who might be moving through burnout, trauma, or transitions, or those who are nonverbal or semi-verbal and need support in being seen. If you've ever struggled to find the words for what you feel, sand tray therapy can become that bridge. Why sand tray therapy works for the nervous system. When we're overwhelmed or stuck, the language part of our brain often goes offline. The body holds our stories, even when we can't find the words. Sand tray therapy meets us in this place, allowing the nervous system to express safely through movement, placement, and symbol. Instead of tell me what happened, it becomes show me what it feels like. This shift alone can open a doorway to healing. A second reason it helps is distance and control. In the sand, your story is there, outside your body, and you can move it at your own pace, change it when you're ready, or leave it exactly as it is until your system softens. You don't need to get it right. You don't need to be artistic. You don't need to tell your whole story out loud. You don't need to understand everything you're building. The sand becomes the safe container. The miniatures become the voice. And what's been stuck inside begins to take shape and loosen. Sometimes trays look unfinished, and that's okay. The nervous system is showing you the pace it trusts. What this can look like in action. A parent carrying years of emotional exhaustion creates two scenes. On one side, a dry desert with cracked earth. On the other, a lush garden with one small figure standing in it. They look at the space in between and quietly say, This is where I feel stuck. No long explanation, no need to justify, just a moment of truth, finally given shape. A couple comes in, each building their own tray. One creates a fortress with high walls. The other places a bridge leading to a small figure waving in the distance. No accusations, no debate, just, this is how it feels. And from there, new conversations can begin. A teen, feeling disconnected from their parents and overwhelmed by school, creates a scene with a small figure under a tree, far away from a busy village. The teen doesn't need to say, "I feel all alone." The tray says it. And that becomes the starting point for safety, attunement, and connection. An adult processing grief places a single candle miniature in an empty expanse of sand. Over weeks, stones gather around it, then a bench, then a path. The world slowly reorganizes around the light. Change in sand tray is often subtle and layered. A protector figure moves closer. A wall shortens by an inch. A once buried symbol appears above the surface. We're not aiming for perfect scenes. We're honoring micro shifts that signal safety, agency, and choice. Sometimes a tray becomes more chaotic before it becomes more coherent. That can be the system finally letting something move that's been held tight for a long time. Why symbol and sand help healing. Symbols bypass our defenses. They allow us to express what is raw, tender, or hidden in a way that feels safe enough to face and share. When you place a figure in the sand, you can step back and see your story from a distance, creating space to relate to it differently. It's not about analyzing the tray. It's about creating enough safety that what's been unspoken can gently emerge. The therapist role and what I'm watching for. My job isn't to tell you what your symbols mean. It's to attune to your breath, your pace, your micro expressions, and to the rhythm of your nervous system as it engages with the sand. I'll reflect what I see with care. You place the bridge very carefully between the two spaces. This figure keeps watch near the candle. You're smoothing the sand over there, again and again. I follow your language. I follow your language. If you call a piece a lighthouse, I'll use lighthouse. If you don't name it, I won't label it for you. That preserves the symbolic field and your agency inside it. Limits are gentle and clear. The sand is for hands, figures, and tools. Safe body, safe therapist, safe room. Boundaries keep the work brave and regulated rather than overwhelming. A typical session rhythm, so you would know what to expect. Many sessions follow a soft arc. Arrival and settling. We orient to the room, the shelves, the sand. Building. You select miniatures and you place them. Silence during this time is welcome. Witnessing. We pause to look. I reflect the scene with your language. Optional shifts. You might move pieces or add or remove certain elements. Closing. We might note one image, one feeling, one word, or body sensation to carry forward. Some people build one tray for many weeks. Others build a new scene each session. There's no right way. If you're curious about your own processing, if you're a parent, you might explore your parenting journey by building a scene of what it feels like right now. The invisible mental load, the longing for connection, the fatigue, the love. If you're navigating grief, the sand can hold your story when words are too heavy. If you're in a relationship, you can each build a tray representing how you feel in the relationship. Often this creates a doorway to conversations you didn't know how to start. If you're an adult carrying stress, trauma, or confusion, the sand offers a place to let it out, piece by piece, symbol by symbol. No tray at home? Try a symbol walk. Find 3 small objects that feel like today. Place them on a table and notice your breath as you look. That's a tiny, accessible version of symbolic externalization. A gentle invitation. If you feel called, take a moment now. Close your eyes. Place your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. And ask, if I were to build what I'm carrying right now, what might it look like? You might notice a landscape, a weather pattern, or one small image. You don't need to explain it. Just notice that felt sense in your body when you picture it. You don't need a sand tray to start reflecting on what is surfacing within you. But if you ever choose to step into sand tray therapy, remember, you don't have to speak your story to begin healing it. Gentle do's and don'ts for parents or partners. Do let the builder lead. Reflect what you see using their names for things. Honor pauses and unfinished trays. Notice your own body. If you tense, breathe, and soften. Don't interpret or solve the puzzle. Don't rush to tidy up the scene. Don't force sharing. Meaning unfolds at its own pace. Don't label any unnamed symbol. Wait for the builder to name it. These simple practices keep the symbolic field intact and the nervous system regulated. When you might seek extra support. Most trays bring relief or curiosity. Consider additional support if scenes become increasingly distressing without any sense of relief. There's frequent dissociation, like blankness or feeling far away. The builder feels unsafe during or after the process. This doesn't mean the sand tray is wrong. It means the system is asking for more scaffolding, more co-regulation, slower pacing, or a therapist container for the work. We all have stories within us, stories we may not know how to name. Sand tray therapy trusts that your story deserves to come forward, even if it does not come out in words. Healing can happen softly, in symbols, in the sand, and in the silence. This is part of our Holding Space series, where we trust that everyone has a story and honor the many ways healing can happen. In our next episode, we'll step back to synthesize this whole block, the language of play, symbols, stories, and repetition, and gently bridge into our parent-focused series on regulation, repair, and the shared nervous system of a family. See you next time. If the content of this podcast really resonated with you and you'd like to go even deeper, I'd love to invite you to step into this work more fully. Beyond the podcast, there are many ways that we can connect. Individual therapy for your child, parent coaching or support for yourself, and deeper IM sessions that explore intergenerational patterns. Additionally, I also offer webinar workshops and weekend retreats for parents, classes, intensive trainings and supervision for therapists, and large group presentations for educators or school presentations. Each are designed to help us hold space for the next generation of children in safe, attuned, and meaningful ways. You can learn more and explore what fits best for you at clarity.family.